Hey everybody, how you doing? It is Friday, August 31st. It's about 8:30 in the morning here in Texas. Just dropped off the kids, and I'm going to do a paint review. This is the first for me. I've never done a paint review. So, what you've got in front of you, these are by Folk Art. These are their new, or relatively new, Colorshift line. Green Stuff World has a similar line, which there's no doubt that stuff is great. It's awesome. I just haven't been able to get a hold of it. My wife saw these last night at Walmart when she was getting out of work, because she works at Walmart, and thought I would like them. Now, I guess these are the only two colors they had. And to be honest, I've been waiting a while so I could try these out. I've looked on YouTube. I've seen a couple of videos, no lie, about these, but they're not used in our medium, in gaming, okay? So the colors I've got here, this is the red flash, and you can see it's got that nice purple look. That's the effect you're supposed to get. And then the green flash, which I think would be great on some dragons. So I'm going to try that out later. But what we're going to do, I'm going to use these Paizo, and now I'm finally saying it right. Thanks everybody for correcting me on it. The Paizo Goblins for Pathfinder battles. I'm going to do one in green, one in red. One of these is going to end up getting primed black, because with the excuse me, with the Green Stuff World version of these style of paints, it says, and even with automotive prismatic, or you might call them reptile skin color paint jobs, you're supposed to do a black undercoat to really get the effect. Now some of the videos I've seen with this stuff, the folk art version, they've shown it done on white paper, and it looks okay. It's still flashy, but not as flashy as on black. So one will be primed black, one is going to stay the same, and I'll leave one here just plain. I think my wife said these were like $3 and something cents per bottle. To be honest, I don't, like I said, I'm going to find out if it's worth it, if it's worth your time to seek these out. And if it is, you know, $3 a bottle, that's not bad for a big old bottle like this. So we're going to try it out. Again, this is going to be one of my attemptings to cut together a whole bunch of videos, because I'm going to prime this off camera, and then we'll get to the paint job. So yeah, let's get to it. Alright, we're back. It's been about 30 minutes. I went ahead and opened up another pack, because I went crazy and bought about 30 packs of these goblins when I was finally able to get a hold of them. This was, God, a year or so ago, when I wasn't broke. So, in the interest of showing, you know, the same results, or a direct comparison, these are both the same model. They're both this little archer guy here. There we go. Now these, you got to remember, these things are supposed to be pre-primed already using Vallejo primer. Ooh, there's a bug on my hand. Nice. Anyway, so they're primed in gray. And what I found out, and a number of people have posted about this in various forums and Facebook pages, sometimes the mold release isn't fully removed from this, from these models, from these deep cuts models. So what'll happen is, for the most part, you know, 9 out of 10 times, you'll be able to take this straight out of the package and just start painting. You know, there's no doubt about that. But for that one time, like I said, maybe 1 in 10 models, it'll have that extra mold release, and you're not going to know if it's on there until you start painting, because the paint will start beading up. So just like with any other model, especially, you know, these, and with the Bones miniatures by Reaper, give them a quick wash just to get rid of that extra mold release agent, and then you'll be good to go. Alright, so there's one there. We have one that's unprimed. Here's the other one that's been reprimed in black. And to be honest with you, you know, I'm here in the US. I used that really cheap 94-cent can of Color Place primer that you can get at Walmart. Luke's Apps did a really great video about primers. I think one other place posted it up. I didn't watch that video. But in essence, yeah, pretty much rattle can paints are all the same. You just got to shake the hell out of them and do it in a decent, a warm climate. And they all pretty much work the same. There's no doubt. I will say, however, the Tamiya surface primer stuff is really good. I do really like that. It goes on very smooth, really cool. And then there was another one. It was an Army Painter. I don't even think they make them anymore. But they're designed specifically for gamers, for miniatures. It's like in a white can, and it has artwork very similar to what you find on the Munchkin game. That stuff is crap. I used a can of it not too long ago, and it came out shitty, plain and simple. I think it's called Armory Painter. I can't remember, but my game stores don't even carry it anymore because they got so many complaints about that crap. So anyway, we are not going to use the red, because these are goblins. I'm not going to use the red. I want to use the green, because since they are goblins, let's see if they get this effect. And since this is Pathfinder minis, and I do love the goblins from Pathfinder, I think I've said that many times. Let's see how the green works. So I'm going to open this up. This is my first time using it. See, it still has the seal. So let's try to see what happens here. And forgive me, you are learning as I am learning about this stuff. Probably better. Let me get my knife. Let me get my blade and open this up. So you can tell I do this stuff on the fly. I don't have a script or anything like that. I have an idea and I just go with it, and I will ramble on sometimes. And you got to forgive me for that, but at least this way I'm being honest with you and straight up front. Alright, so that is off. So there's a little bit of the paint right there on the stopper cap. It does have the glow. I know my camera's not focusing in on it, but it does have that glowing effect. So I'm going to put a little bit on my palette. I've got an extra piece of tissue paper here, and I used the tissue paper because I couldn't find any regular paper. Alright, so we'll put a little bit in my palette on screen, just a little bit. Alright. See, it does have that nice little metal sheen to it thus far, but looks can be deceiving. Let's see how this goes on to a mini. So, yeah, sometimes it does help to be prepared prior, but hey, whatever. Alright. I'm just getting a little bit on my brush here. I'm going to start with the unprimed one. Now, all I'm going to do is paint the heads real quick. Because if I like it, then I'll go ahead and paint the rest. You know what? I actually might bust out the red so I can do the eyes. And so far, it's looking okay. It just looks like it has a metal sheen to it, a metallic sheen. I'm not seeing this prismatic coloring. But it does say on the bottle to do like 3 or 4 coats. So we'll just do this, and then I guess I'll make a third part, or shoot a third part in about an hour after I do several coats on here. So let's just focus on this part real quick. Oops, sorry about that. I just want to go ahead and get the whole head. There we go. Well, it's going to shake for a second. Let me just get the whole head done first. Not going to be a perfect paint job, but it's going to be a paint job. But I do have a feeling you're going to want to prime everything in black and do a black base coat. It doesn't really go on very smooth. A little bit more there. I know I keep hitting the camera with my my paintbrush. Gotta forgive me, like I said, I need new equipment. I'm gonna do this all fancy and proper. Yeah, let's just make sure we get that. Now I don't know what color I'll do his teeth if this really is prismatic as it says it is. Normally I would do their teeth with the Lamenter's yellow highlight, or rather the shade. So yeah, that's about done. Alright, so you see he's pretty shiny. Not a perfect paint job, but like I said, it says to do a couple layers. But I'm not seeing that prismatic effect at all. So that's on one. That's just the primer gray. Let's clean off this brush real quick. And now let's move on to the one that's been primed black, where I'm assuming you're supposed to see a better difference. We will find out. Hopefully. Oh yeah, there's a big difference on there. I could tell already. Yep. Unfortunately, it looks like I had too much moisture left on this brush when I started. Sorry, not showing it on there. Yeah, let me try this out a little bit more. But I could definitely see a difference between the unprimed and the primed, and the reprime, I should say, in this case. Definitely a difference here. You know what, screw it, everything's just gonna get the green on everything. Fuck it. There's just too much moisture I had on this brush, and I don't want to switch brushes right now. But I can definitely see a difference. I don't know if my cameras can pick it up, but I can see a difference. Oops. Yep, it's gonna keep doing that, guys. I'm sorry. Not much I could do about that until I get a better setup. Okay, that'll do it for now, for this part of it. So, move that down a little bit. I said I had too much moisture on the brush, but I'm thinking if I follow the instructions or the recommendation that I should do several layers, this should come out looking pretty decently. You end up with this result here. However, I can say right off the bat that priming it black did make a large difference in that prismatic effect. So yeah, let's pause it real quick and I'll come back in about an hour after I've allowed this to dry. I've done a few layers so we can go ahead and see the difference. Alright, now it is 24 hours later, September 1st, 2018. Went ahead and let it dry for 24 hours like it says, and I'm going to be honest with you, I am not pleased with the results. I'm not going to recommend this for a couple of reasons. So it's supposed to get this nice, or at least very close to this prismatic color, okay, this color shift. It does not. So let's look at the one that's done the way it's supposed to be done with the black primer. So I did a splotch right here on the base. Remember, this was reprimed. I've reprimed it black. Okay. Yeah, the camera's not deceiving you. This is just basically a metallic green. I am not seeing any color shift. I mean, there is, but it's so finite, it's so minute, you can't tell. You really can't tell. The average person will be like, it's just a metal green, you know? And even here on the base, when I first put it on, it gave the effect. I mean, you can kind of see it there, but for all intents and purposes, this is just a metallic green. You know, and here's the one that's unprimed. Now this base is, oh, sorry. So the base also is not primed. It wasn't primed. Just put one thing on it, and it actually does have the effect on there with one brush stroke. Okay? So it's not as extreme as it is on the cap, as it would lead you to believe. But yeah, look at them. You know, the camera is not deceiving you. It's just a basic metallic green. And this was done over several layers, shaking up the bottle several times, quite a bit. See, now you can see on the base here, if I hold it the right way, it kind of has the color shift, but not really. Not really. So you know what? I was like, you know what? To be fair, I had just primed this about an hour prior. Let me get something that I had already primed, that has been sitting here for a couple of days, for about 4 days. So I sacrificed one of my Gretchen from 40K. Okay, primed black, the same primer that I used on this Goblin. And yeah, he looks like a freaking Halloween toy store thing, you know, where they do that cheap metal paint. So the only thing I really noticed, the difference between this and those Paizo models, was, okay, on the nose, because the nose has two flat surfaces for all intents and purposes. The side of the nose has a very flat surface. That's about the only area that you can get that color shifting effect. Anything that has a flat surface. Otherwise, like on the body, the arms, anything with rounded surfaces, this paint is just not going to work. It's just giving you a nice metal effect, which in of itself is fine. You know, Gorgie here, he's going to get stripped back down this paint because I don't want a shiny Gretchen for my kill team. But yeah, but the same thing. You know, the base was primed black, and you can kind of get the effect on there, but not really. Excuse me. Now, maybe if you airbrush this on, I know there's a couple videos. I just watched a couple to see how to use these cheap acrylic paints in an airbrush. You might get the effect, but overall, I'm gonna say no. Just pass on this. Spend the money on the stuff from Green Stuff World. To be totally honest with you, because at least I know I've seen it. I've seen it in hand. It does work. It works best with an airbrush and primed black as your base coat. And they even say that on the Green Stuff World advertisement and on many videos. Spend the money on that. This, if you want to use this, prime black and try to stick to just flat surfaces, as flat as you can, because this is it's 377 or 384. I can't remember what I said earlier. I think it was like 377 a bottle. So if you're looking for crafty, maybe getting a prismatic effect, a color shifting effect, go ahead and spend the money. Otherwise, this is just a plain metallic green, and for your craft products, just get yourself the metallic green. I think it's like $2.50. It's like $1 cheaper. And yeah, I'm just very, very, very disappointed with this. It's a learning experience though. Now, on the plus side, now I've got 2 paints here I can give to my kids, especially my daughter. She's very much into art right now. She's very artistic. She could find some use for this and have quite a bit of fun with it with her crafts. So from that standpoint, it's not a total loss. It really isn't. I try to find an upside to everything, and in this regards, yeah, the upside is my daughter now has a paint that maybe for her stuff will work and she'll be happy with. But as far as miniature gaming, spend the money on the stuff for Green Stuff World. That's my final verdict on it. Poor little Gretchen. He has to suffer. He suffered for my art. Alright guys, so that's about it. Now I will say I did not try the red. But I suspect it's not going to end up being anything like this at all. So what I'm going to do with it, I will try this on my orc eyes, because all my orcs get red eyes, period. So if this works on the orc eyes, I will let you know. But I'm not going to be working on the orcs for a little bit, because it's almost time for Halloween. Today's the 1st. I've got 60 days to do my annual Halloween dungeon setup. Any of my local friends, if you're watching this, hell, anybody who's watching this, if I end up doing the D&D, the Halloween D&D game on Skype or anything, just keep a lookout on the Medkit Studio page, because I'm going to be updating with all the monsters that'll be in it. Like I said, I may or may not do that game. Just depends. But I'm going to show what I'm doing, because everything else is going to be on hold right now until I finish up these models. I'm actually going to make a video about that later. It's my little geeky thing, but hey, it is what it is. You guys have a good weekend. It's only Saturday. 2 more days. Don't drink and drive. Knowledge is power. And remember, the judge doesn't get into the office until Tuesday, so don't do anything stupid this weekend. Later.